Hello, today is the 6th day of October 2024 and is the very first Sunday of the month of October. And so, because it's the very first episode of the sermon, I'll be discussing on a topic that revolves around the theme. And what is the theme for the month? The theme for October is harvest. We will be focusing all our conversations this month on the harvest. So, for the purpose of that, let us set the ball rolling. Today, I want to look at the topic: what are you sowing? What are you sowing? Now, before you have a harvest, there must be a sowing. Before you can harvest anything, you must have sown something. Before you can expect to harvest anything, you must have put something on the ground in the form of a seed. I remember when I was younger, back then in the village, my dad, a practical man, a very wise man, a very humble man, a very wonderful and a good teacher, once took me on a very wonderful trip of learning. And I never knew how perfect this illustration he shared with me was going to be very applicable to my life and even to this topic today. And what was that? He took me to a farm where we had made ridges. So he gave me two options. One, he picked two pebbles on the ground and two seeds. I'll never forget, yellow corn. So he made me to sow the two pebbles in one part of the ridge, then the two seeds of corn in another part of the ridge. So he now asked me to leave them there. It was during the rainy season, to allow them there for some time. Then we'll monitor and see. Now he was a teacher. He was an agricultural science teacher in the secondary school. So I thought is one of those wonderful agricultural lessons he was going to teach me. But eventually, after a long wait, the two seeds of yellow corn actually sprout out, but the two pebbles never did. So he asked me to dig out the pebbles, and I dug out the pebbles, and they were still there, the same as I sowed them. But these ones, the corn seeds had already grown, and told me to let them be, and they're going to continue to grow. So, what was the lesson? He asked me. And I really couldn't really place what the lesson was because I was far, far younger. But the lesson I can't really remember clearly what he said, but I know he said something like this: when you sow nothing, you get nothing. But when you sow something, you get something. So the question is, when you sow nothing, you gain nothing, or you harvest nothing, or you reap nothing. So the point here is this, relating it to our real life situation, or to the topic of our discussion today, is: what are you sowing? In your life, what are you sowing? In your thinking, what are you sowing? In your health, in your body, what are you sowing? In people's lives, what are you sowing? In the society, what are you sowing? In humanity, what are you sowing? In your spiritual life, what are you sowing? In everything that revolves around you and about people around you, in your family, in your community, in the society, in the church, in your school, in everywhere at work, what are you sowing? Are you sowing love? Are you sowing hatred? Are you sowing good companionship? Are you sowing good relationship? Are you sowing disharmony? Are you sowing harmony? Are you sowing collaboration? What are you doing? What are you sowing? The point is, and the question is, what are you sowing? Until next week again, we're going to be looking at another aspect of the harvest. But for today, I just want you to go home with this question and keep asking yourself, as you go about your day to day and even in the new week, what are you sowing? What are you sowing? Ask yourself this question. Always be sure of what you're sowing. I love you so much. See you again next week on the sermon. Bye.